Okay, we're going to call a meeting to order. It is Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Minutes and reports received and filed.
None.
Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports, upcoming meetings and events.
Let's see, Thursday we got Cole County Communities, Cole County Extension meeting. Thursday afternoon, and we're setting up for the Fall Festival, which is going to be on Saturday. And I think that's about it.
Since this is a short week and Wednesday can't be hump day, Thursday is going to be hemp day at the Lincoln University Farm on Bald Hill Road. And if there's a communities meeting on Thursday, that means there's also a West Side Business Association meeting to
Yeah.
conflict with that.
It does.
And then Monday, some ARPA meetings get cranked up again. That's it.
Okay. Well, today, I'm meeting with J.C. Rapp, and then communities tomorrow, I think, is on housing. Friday, do we have Renegade Coffee Friday?
Well, it's supposed to be. That's Chamber
Okay.
of Commerce Friday as well.
Yeah, and then the Chamber Gala is Friday night. And Saturday should be the Labor Parade, Sons of the American Revolution meeting. Sunday, there's a first responders dinner, so I think in Wardsville. That's all I've got. Okay, commission comments? Bids and contracts. Approval and signing of memorandum of understanding with the operator for the Capital Area Rail Terminal.
I request that we table this to the following week. if we
Okay.
can. We are not quite ready. I was out of town last week and could not get emailed to them the suggestions that Jill had made. Did that last Friday and haven't gotten a response back, so if it's all right, I'd like to table that.
Can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Bid award for 2023-20 awning replacement.
I'm just bringing this up again from last week. I emailed Pioneer Window Works, and it was gonna be an additional $500 per site that we needed the lift, and they needed the lift at the assessor's office and possibly the health department. So that would add an additional $1,000 to their total. So now the Be Seen signs is gonna be the lowest at $24,342. I'd emailed you guys even a breakdown from like US Rents It on if we wanted to rent a lift, we'd just have to have
Yeah.
maintenance go pick it up and,
It's not inexpensive to run a lift.
And the issue before, we had to drill into this lift not being there for the other vendor.
correct,
Be Seen has their own.
correct.
So, and when you add all the numbers together, Be Seen is the lower bid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I came up with as well, so I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
I'll make a motion to award the 23-20 awning replacement contract to Be Seen signs for $24,342.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Bid award for 2023-18 banking services collector's office.
And we bid out the banking services for the collector's office. Central Bank was the only one that submitted a response. There's the spreadsheet that I passed out earlier that has the breakdown for you guys. Larry's been pleased with their service, and our recommendation is to award it with Central Bank.
I'm good with it.
Jessica, do we need to mention about it going to the 1 year only for the printing? Credit card services.
So this is broken down into three different groups. Central Bank can provide Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. Our goal is to do Group 1 at 4 years, and then we want to do Group 2 and 3, which is on the second page, to an annual renewal.
Okay. That's what the collector wants, right? And,
That's our preference. We can go to electronic billing now, that passed the legislature, I think, 2 years ago. And there are a lot of different options out there now for that we think we need to take a look at a broader spectrum of bidders for that service.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Statutorily, you can do it for 4 years, right? For renewal.
Yes, I guess what I'm suggesting is, well, a 1 year, or at least an out clause if we went for more than 1 year, so. We do want to bid the printing and the electronic billing again next year.
Okay.
They're all gonna be for 1 year at this time. We'll come back up in a year then and renew the other part of it and then possibly rebid the other portions is what you're saying, right?
On the banking services, we want to, that's good for 4 years. Part 2 and Part 3, again, we bid 3 separate parts. Central Bank was the only one that bid in a timely manner. So we want to go with them for the 4 year for banking services, but we want to take a look again in a year at printing and credit card services. Because of the electronic billing option that's out there now.
Okay. I don't have any paperwork.
It's just the-
So we're just gonna award it today and then y'all will do the contract
Yes.
later on. So we awarding it for 1 year with 3 year renewable? Thought we were just do 1 year at a time and we were gonna award it.
We want to award Group 1 with 4 years. And then the Group 2 and 3, we want the option to renew every year for 4 years.
Correct.
Okay, it's all through Central Bank, so let me know if this is right or wrong. I'll make a motion to award the banking services Group 1 for 4 years, and then Groups 2 and 3 with the option to renew each year.
Second.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any unfinished business?
I would like to ask that we revisit the closed session from last week regarding the maintenance department issue. I have additional information.
Okay. For next week, you mean?
I would like to visit it today if we can. It didn't get put on the agenda due to my error, but because it was an open issue, if we can revisit it today, I would like to. Otherwise, I would like to add it to next week.
I mean, I would think we'd be able to do it under old business, just have to go back into closed session on it. That's how I would handle it.
That's your call.
And I'm okay with that. We can do that at the end of this.
Yeah, I would.
Jill, what'd you
Do, we have not, we do not have on the agenda a closed.
No, we don't.
We got old business though. Unfinished.
Well, unfinished is in open.
Isn't it?
Yeah, this would,
I'd still say, well, then let's put closed session on every agenda so that if something comes up under old business, we can always address it. I was saying it's old business, and even though it's closed session, we should be able to still address it. It's personnel matters, it needs to be handled. It's kind of administrative matters as much as anything.
I think we have to walk a fine line here. If we want to talk in closed session about it, we needed to have a closed session scheduled.
I'm good
If,
with that.
Yeah.
if we wanted in unfinished business, I suspect we could talk about it, but there's personnel issues that we should not talk about it.
Correct, not an open meeting.
And it originally wasn't under business
Right.
in an open session.
Right.
Yeah, my recommendation is we just put it on next week.
But you can't just keep pushing this off, because you got stuff that's gonna fester and cause more problems the longer we wait. And
It is 9:10. We can have a closed session meeting tomorrow at 9:11. We could post it out there right this moment, but
I
that's
still
a,
say we can do it on unfinished business, even though we don't have closed session on here. It's unfinished business and it needs to be taken care of, but if you got 2 votes for the way you want to do it, then
I
I'll
think
s- I'll
tomorrow
spend my
would be
time.
early enough, that would give us time to properly post it,
Okay,
if you're available, Jeff.
I'll make myself available.
okay, let's, if somebody,
For something like
how about
9:30 or
not,
10.
what's a
Do
good?
like 9:30 or 10 if it
Yep,
makes
all
more
right.
sense.
How about 9:30 tomorrow? Somebody can get out there and hang that posted.
So then can we put a closed session on every agenda just in case something comes up?
Well, you could, but you'd have to put 21 things on there, 21
Okay.
subsections. We can't do that.
Why not? I'm just saying, if something like
Because
this comes up, it needs to be handled.
If we do, you're the one that has to read going into closed section under subsection 1, subsection
Well-
2.
If we don't have anything, say, well, we don't have anything, but we had it on there just in case. We shouldn't have to do that. We should, unfinished
Well-
business is unfinished business, whether it's open or closed.
I
So-
think this,
Well, you can always take it down to the legislature, you know, how you feel.
We could just do it and they can sue me if they think I'm doing something wrong here.
I think
If
they'd
it's under
sue all
unfinished-
3 of us,
I
I'm
wanna do
sorry.
it- I want to do it
Sue
properly.
me.
I don't,
Let's handle it
We're
tomorrow at
taking care of
9:30.
business.
We'll do that first.
Thank you.
okay, yes.
You didn't know that was gonna be that much fun, did you?
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay,
Are you always like this after a 3-day
Throw me into
weekend?
this.
No more Mondays off. That's it. All
okay.
right.
Any other unfinished business? New business, accounts payable review.
I'd ask for approval of accounts payable pending review.
Motion to approve accounts payable pending review.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Follow-up discussion on OpenGov permitting and licensing software tax sale overage approval.
I think that tax.
I don't think that belongs on there.
Tacked on from the meeting before,
Uh.
we'll approve the release of the
Should
tax
just-
sale over.
Should just stop at the software.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Software, period?
Yes.
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we discussed the possibility of the county adding to our Cartograph Asset Management Program, OpenGov permitting and licensing. And we had a presentation from the people from OpenGov, did the Zoom meeting presentation. The applications that we would be using if we purchase this would be the building permits, on-site sewer permits, contractor licensing, certificate of occupancy, forms, excavation right-of-way permits, utility permits, that's electric, telephone, cable, fiber, sewer, et cetera. Utility company bond submittals and park pavilion rentals. And I got some pricing on there. If we were to implement it right now and build the system to have it ready to go as early as we can in 2024, there would be a prorated cost of $19,831.25. There is a deployment cost to build the system, and that's $22,620. And then cost per year going forward, we would sign a 2-year contract, and it would be $49,974 and $52,472 for 24 and 25. These costs are a reduced rate than normal because we are a current client of theirs with Cartograph. And I would propose that we split the cost between 211 Road Bridge and 173 Planning. About half, probably a little more planning would have a little more use in it. But I think going forward, we'll build out a little more on the Road and Bridge side. So it's about half and half would be a fair amount. And I know at the meeting we had 2 weeks ago, we were wanting to get Brian to look at some of the security parts of it, and I know he has not been able to do that with things going on. But they have provided, this is a cloud-based system, similar to Cartograph. which we are currently able to use, that hasn't been affected. And so, this would be very similar. There would be no impacts to the network or anything like that. It would all be cloud-based, and we could use it at any given time, whether we're in the office or out in the field. There is a document that they provided as far as the online payments go. They use a system called Stripe, and it would just sync with BSNA, and they interact with that with other clients that they have. So I'm prepared to move forward with it. I know the commission had asked that we have Brian look at the security side of it, which, like I said, he has not been able to do that yet. So I'd just like to hear your all's thoughts or comments. One, about whether we want to do this or not, and then two, whether we move forward right now or we wait a little bit.
I wanted to make a comment too. We reviewed the software, had a little demo with them, and we wouldn't be using it for on-site sewage permits because we have our own system for that. But it would allow us read-only access, which would be very helpful because that way when someone comes in, get a building permit to start building a house, we will be able to see that, and we'll be able to make sure that they've also planned for their sewage system, because so many times they wait until the house is already sited on the land. Sometimes they wait till it's all the way almost built, and then they're like, oh, by the way, something needs to happen when we flush the toilet. And then, they don't have the right lot structure or, layout to put in the system that they want or the cheapest system they want. So being able to view the system as it's happening and the permit when it's happening will be very helpful.
So how much on the right-of-way and easement projects and stuff, you were saying that would help a lot with those as well too, because a lot of times they don't even call to do those, and I think we have problems with keeping track of who's out there tearing up people's yards or whatever, and then we come in at the end, so this would help us.
We have a significant problem with that. Yes, some contractors, utility contractors don't get a permit, so we don't know about it until somebody calls. Or they do get a permit, but they don't call when they're working, don't follow up with us, and all of a sudden they're out there disturbing people's yards, so we get those calls too. I know with all the fiber work going on, we've had a lot of that. This would just allow a very simple way to track progress on these and to see, if these are usually 6-month permits, to see if they're doing the work within that window or not. We also have an issue, if a utility company does come in and do some work, and they don't clean it up, we really don't have any recourse to go back and make them do it, other than, hey, we're gonna revoke your permit. Well, some of them don't get them anyway, so, through this system, we can start requiring a bond. These utility companies submit a bond. This used to be in effect before I came to the county. They used to do this, but that hasn't been done as long as I've been at the county. And it could be like a $1,000 bond or something, to at least if somebody walks off and doesn't clean it up, we could go back and do the work and charge it back to their bond. So there'd be a little recourse there if that were to happen. And again, it would allow us to track these much better than what we're doing now. It's limited at best in how we're able to track it. And we just don't have the personnel to really follow up in the current way that we're doing it. This would allow a little easier tracking and not have to add more personnel to do it.
Yep.
So after all the smoke clears and we're 1 or 2 years down the road into this thing, it's going to be costing us about $50,000 a year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so do you, too, say that it's worth it? In other words, the examples that you gave, that's worth that kind of money for us to spend, in your opinion? You're not under oath.
Well, Christie and her staff would have access to it, so they're gonna be able to see in real time what the process, or what the status is on any given home being built or commercial structure or whatever. So they'll know exactly where it's at, what phase it's at.
Right, it should save a lot of time for us, tracking down those houses that are already being built that, don't have a sewage system. So for us to have read-only access to that and not have to, because for Eric's staff to have to send those permits to us is onerous on them, and We don't always get them in a timely fashion, which is no fault of his staff, but it's
Right.
a lot to remember. So for our staff to have read-only access to that and see what stage they are in the process is gonna help.
Some of the savings is really, or some of the benefit is very hard to measure, but, and we just find out about it 2 years later when sewage from neighbor A is ending up on neighbor B, right?
Right.
Or downstream.
You're like, oh, you know,
Right.
I wanna move into my house, but I don't have a sewage system. So it'll save up a lot of headaches. How's that? We can't measure that though.
Right, in dollars and cents.
Right.
Only good thing there, that one occasion, it almost led to a fist fight, which was
Yeah, we do
really
have those
kind of
issues
interesting, but.
sometimes.
So I was grilling Eric pretty hard about it too, because the price tag seemed pretty steep, but I think that it's also a service that's gonna be provided to really everybody in the county, if you wanna look up to see, because you'll be able to do the read-only as well, right? I can go in there and say, hey,
Anybody?
I'm looking at buying this house, I wanna see if they actually have the certificate of occupancy, you know, maybe it was a new construction or not. You can look up some of the stuff, and builders can do their stuff online too, and maybe doesn't take up as much staff time coming into the office and things. It'd probably be a few hiccups to start with once they learn how to use it. I think it should streamline things and make it a very good product for everybody. We talked at length about it.
Yeah.
I think Eric's done his homework on it, and it was 50 grand a year, but I think it's gonna be worth it.
Okay.
So Cartograph and OpenGov, since they're of the same company, they'll sync. And so anything done in OpenGov, any permit done, any physical asset done through a building permit would be automatically in our asset management system through Cartograph. So that's a benefit there. As things have been progressing and knowing kind of where we're heading, we've kind of considered adding adding staff to be kind of maybe a hybrid of building permits and utility permits, kind of doing both, just to help track these. I would not pursue that if we do go forward with this, because this will save a lot of staff time and just tracking, just simply just paperwork and tracking permits, whatever it is. I didn't hit too hard on it, but we do have the park rental, pavilion rental, that's in this too. So, and also, and I haven't really discussed it either, but in our budget, we're gonna request funds to scan all of our historical building permit information. That would be uploaded into this too. So as Jeff had mentioned, any user, anybody can go in and look at historical information on a property. That'll all be in the system. So,
Okay.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to approve the OpenGov permitting and licensing software purchase.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay.
And do we want to prorate it and start?
That would be the second question, prorated. I would recommend that we do, that way we're ready to go first of the year, or as close to the first of the year as possible.
Yeah, I meant to do it at the
Okay.
prorated
Okay,
2023.
yeah.
I meant to second that too when you were gonna do that.
Okay,
So,
and I think we all are in favor, then we all meant to say we're in favor.
Okay.
As you had proposed it here, and then I guess you can watch and see how the ratio ends up with road and bridge versus planning, if we need to change the ratio and where it comes from.
I do have a document here, and it's a supplemental to the original Cartograph agreement. I would want Jill to review that, and so we can do the signing possibly next week, if that's okay. If you're good with that, okay.
Mhm.
So we'll go through all that and get that ready for next week, the signing of the actual agreement, or the supplemental agreement, I guess. So,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So do we have anything else? Okay. Our next scheduled meeting will be September 6th, tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m.
I was waiting to catch you on that.
I was too.
But,
You nailed it.
yeah,
Thought you was going September 12th.
no, September 6th at 9:30 a.m. I would entertain a motion to stand in recess.
Motion to adjourn and stand in recess until 4:30 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Short and sweet.